What is going on, everybody? Welcome in on a Monday night. It is the Sports Arena, 10 p.m. Eastern, part of the NGPN TV family community. Y'all already know what time it is. Great show we got going on here tonight. Of course, we're talking about the two things that everybody is focused on right now. That being the NFL draft coming up in a matter of less than 72 hours. And, of course, the NBA playoffs. Now, yes, granted, NHL playoffs are going on, and I'm sure somehow, some way, my man Mike is going to slide in some hockey because that's just what he does. And I can't fault the brother for it. I will always defer to him with regards to all things NHL, minus the Flyers, because Mike is just, he doesn't like too much Philly things, but he does give some love when it is due to teams not named the Philadelphia Eagles. But let me get my man in here, the left coast, the west coast, forks up. He's a Sun Devil, Jerry. My man, Mike Caratanudo, in the building with us tonight. What's up, Mike?
What up, yo?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm very stoked that you mentioned that about the playoffs, and you said the Flyers too, but it's okay. You can pick on me because the Devils are sitting home with the Flyers playing golf. Probably not together because they don't really like each other, but they're both sitting at home and. I was watching a very tight going back and forth between your Knicks and Sixers, the Knicks and Sixers, and the Bruins and the Leafs. So yeah, it's like I say to you every year, Eric, it's a great time of year, but it's still depressing because like the great games, and then it's coming to an end. It's just coming to an end.
Yeah. This is very true, but we do have the W to look forward to next month, rolling us in through the summer, getting us ready for the 2024-2025 NFL season. We got a guest with us tonight. Man, love to have this young man back on the show. He does a lot. He is a part of the Sideline Sports Network. Our man, Will Vogel, is in the building. Willie V is in the house. What's up, brother? How you been?
Good, man. Glad to be back. Love talking ball, talking any sports with you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, man. So listen, we're gonna kick the show off here tonight because, like I said, in 3 days, gentlemen, it is in fact the 2024 NFL Draft live from Detroit. I can say our very own Ray Lynn, the sports reporter without pay, will be there. I'm sure he's going to be chopping it up with the players and the coaches and just anybody and everybody. So be on the lookout for Ray doing his thing in Detroit. But, gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the draft. And, listen, everybody focuses on the first round. And, of course, that's night one. That's when a lot of things do take place that kind of maybe stir up the pot a little bit for the rest of the draft. We pretty much know that right now, Chicago, even though they're technically on the clock, this pick should take no longer than the time it takes Roger Goodell to come on stage and say, welcome everybody to the 2024 NFL Draft. He should just stay up there and say the Chicago Bears with the very first pick have selected Caleb Williams. So we could just move on and find out what the hell Washington is going to do. So with that being said, Will, since you're our guest here tonight, I want to ask you, all the talk is, of course, the Washington Commanders at number 2. And I'm looking at all these mock drafts. And, the name that is continually being shown as far as going, pretty much, you look at, I guess, Jaden Daniels.
He was a Sun Devil, Eric.
I know. I was waiting on that, Mike. But, Will, what are your thoughts on Washington and the number 2 pick?
I think they're obviously going quarterback, either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, because they did trade Sam Howell to the Seattle Seahawks. So that is definitely a position in need. And I wouldn't blame them to get either or, because I saw Drake May firsthand being a Clemson fan. He is a solid stud quarterback who's from a very athletically gifted family. His brother was Luke May, who played for UNC basketball. And he is a gifted football player himself. He can run, he can throw. He has the intangibles. As for Jaden Daniels, he went to Arizona State, then he transferred to LSU, had a really good season, turned it up, won the Heisman. So I think if I'm Washington, I think you definitely go quarterback. And if I had to lean one way or another, I say Drake has the stronger arm, but you know what? I think they're going to go Jaden Daniels.
Interesting. So go ahead, Mike, and then I want to throw a monkey wrench into y'all's mix here tonight on the Sports Media. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm glad I said. I mean, look, it's the whole adage. I mean, Drake May, another North Carolina quarterback, kind of like Mitch Trubisky, but he's got that size, man. And look, Jaden Daniels. I mean, again, Eric, I was obviously the whole penalties looming from the NCAA. All those guys were going to bounce, but. Look, the year Jaden Daniels had, he won the Heisman. I mean, to me, Michael, and I said this before on the show, that Michael Penix Jr. I thought was the Heisman winner. But, splitting hairs there. The one thing, if I'm Washington, I mean, you always hear those little things. Oh, well, he doesn't really want to play in Washington or this and that. It's like, well, if you're a top draft pick, you're not really going to the best situation like we've talked about. But look, I mean, Drake May's size – like Jaden Daniels, again, I mean, he's not small. Yeah, could he put on, obviously, a little bit more to beef up? Sure. I mean, within his frame, he can do it and not throw off his game. But, yeah, I mean, I mean, I'd rather them, not pick any quarterback because it's Washington, Eric. So at least you can agree with me on that. But, no, I
actually, Mike, here's the thing about that. It doesn't bother me if they take a quarterback with the number 2 overall pick.
Right.
Because as far as I see it, it's still a 2-dog race between Philadelphia and Dallas.
Right.
Washington has more things to take care of than just getting a franchise quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you got a new coaching staff. Look, Dan Quinn brought dudes in there like we saw. I mean, guys that he knows. I mean, Bobby Wagner, now came over, a guy he's familiar with that can run that defense, get everybody in line, which is annoying. But yeah, no, I mean, I go with yeah, I mean, to what Will's saying, I go with Drake May though. I think because if they don't, say they do take and I'll answer the next question very shortly for once. If they do take Jaden Daniels again, which not, I mean, again, not a bad pick. Then I think the Patriots don't even worry about trading down, and Drake May is a Patriot.
That's what I was thinking.
Wow. Yeah. So there's my pick 3, Eric. You said the Bears were fast. If Jaden Daniels goes.
Wow. Okay.
He spoke
Drake
so
May
fast.
is a Patriot. If Drake May goes, I don't think Jaden Daniels is a Patriot.
Wow. All right. So because the name that everybody keeps throwing out for the Patriots,
jump out and jump back in.
All right. We'll see you in a minute, Mike. So Will, I'll ask you. The pick or the name, shall I say, that everybody keeps throwing out there for the New England Patriots is potentially J.J. McCarthy or another team jumping up to 3 to take J.J. McCarthy. When you look at it, now listen, we know the New England Patriots. This is a team that very rarely, shall we say, hardly ever drafts in the first round. They usually second, third, more towards the later rounds. But having the number 3 pick and the fact that Mac Jones is no longer in New England, is this the time that New England does something that's uncharacteristic of them and actually drafts a top prospect in the draft?
I actually think they're going to go Drake May as well. I think that he's going to fall to 3. Nothing against J.J. McCarthy. He led Michigan to an undefeated season, and they coasted in the playoffs, and they win the national championship. I think the team that trades up for McCarthy is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings jump up ahead of everybody and says, hey, we need this guy to be our future quarterback, because who they have on the roster right now is not a winner to me, is Sam Darnold. We've seen rock bottom Sam Darnold. He has been a starter to a bench player like this. So, in my opinion, I think the Patriots actually do pick a first round talent guy in Drake May, and that will be their pick.
Wow. All right. So we've got Caleb Williams going to Chicago. We've got, as according to you and a little bit to Mike as well, Jaden Daniels going to Washington.
Mhm.
And then Drake May going to New England. And I'm
Yes.
welcoming back in my boy Mike. Okay. So then let's talk about number 4, Mike, because number 4 is in your backyard. Number 4 is the Arizona Cardinals. So perfect timing for you to jump back into this, because I want to know, you're my boots on the ground. You're my dude in Arizona. Whenever something comes up and I hear Phoenix, I hear Glendale, I hear Cardinals, I'm like, yo, Mike, what's going on? So talk to me, brother. I know you've been at ASU. I know you've been, hey, forks up, ladies and gentlemen. He's a Sun Devil, Jerry, but my brother's got his ear to the ground with what he's been hearing. So, Mike, I'm asking, what's going on in Phoenix?
I mean, look, everybody's talking about Minnesota taking a push up, and the Cardinals and honestly, I know we wrapped up with the Patriots, but those two teams also, Eric. The other thing I was going to say is they're in perfect. Cortland's right about that. They're in perfect, draft position. The Cardinals have 11 picks, so and the Patriots too to trade down and get more assets. I mean, that was a Belichick thing. Gerard Mayo, again, if it's smart and it works out, I'm sure they'll do it, but. If I'm the Cardinals, I mean, it's gotta be Denver or somebody jumping up to get another first round pick to maybe take, if both of those say Drake May doesn't go for some reason, or Jaden Daniels if Sean Payton likes him. But if I'm the Cardinals, to your point, I'm almost sprinting. Once they make the pick, I'm just going to tell the commissioner to stay up there and hand him the Cardinals thing and take as my guy Gus Johnson, he drives people crazy, but Maserati Marv, you got to take Marvin Harrison Jr. right there. I mean, but look, there's other receivers. If they go down to 11, you can still get where Minnesota's at. You still have assets to go back up maybe to 6 or 7, because in one mock draft I saw, and look, it wouldn't affect us in the NFC. But there is a mock draft trade I saw where the Cardinals trade down with
how far?
It was 11 with the Vikings, I want to say. The Cardinals trade down and they are at 11. Yeah, where they take probably the best corner in the draft, and the kid out of Toledo, Quinyon
Mitchell.
Yeah. So I did see that, but that means that Minnesota, but in this mock draft at 5, because Minnesota went up to 4, and who did they take? Look, I'm not ripped. Look, J.J. McCarthy, I think with what Michigan wanted to do, he ran the offense great. He can throw the ball. Homer or not, I saw Michael Penix Jr. play live 4 times in the last 2 years, and on TV a ton. You can't tell me that J.J. McCarthy can make every throw Michael Penix Jr. can with that accuracy. I'm sorry. But it works out. For the Chargers is my point to this, because guess who they add? Wide receiver university in the NFL, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, dude, and you think the Chiefs or anybody be happy about that? Look, yeah, he has to prove himself, but Eric, we know receiver is one of those positions where, yeah, that rookie year you might not get the volume of catches that we've seen, but we've seen dudes, 40, 50 catches with almost like 1,100, like with 1,000 yards. That's insane. 7, 8 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., and again, I know it pains you because you saw it do him against your team and a lot of teams. But like, if the Chargers get him, but if I'm the Cardinals, like that offer from the Vikings better be like, you're swapping first rounds. You get another first round next year, and maybe even their third this year. But if they trade down, they could leapfrog. I mean, they could go from 3 and out and then trade back up with the. Work the magic phones with New England if they wanted to be players, because in that mock draft, we know the Chargers, and I asked me about the Cardinals, they were banged up on the offensive line last year. These guys get healthy. Yeah, no more Mike Williams, no more Keenan Allen, but it's one of those things where you still have Quentin Johnson, a 6'4", just ridiculous receiver. Now you get another 6'3", 6'4" receiver in the Chargers way, no matter who's coaching, and with Justin Herbert. So if I'm the Cardinals, man, I run up to get to get Marvin Harrison Jr. But again, we can't believe anything we hear from GMs and everybody from after the combine until the draft, until the pick is in, like you said, until the pick is in, we can't believe a word they say.
Pretty much. Cortland is saying that if the Cardinals are smart, they trade down with a quarterback.
Right. That's why Minnesota and Denver are those teams because. Yeah,
I agree with you. He's also saying they are only moving down 7 spots. They could possibly get a Malik Neighbors.
I look, Cortland. I love Neighbors, and it's not even a homer pick, but watching both of them, Neighbors is money. But give me Rome Odunze. That dude in zone and finding holes in zones when guys know where they have to cover him, and then he just looks at the dudes and he's running by them. I mean, and yeah, it's they're NFL corners, but. Holy, yeah. If the Cardinals could get Odunze too, then that's not sad. But
at number 4, okay, hold that thought. Will, okay. I'm going to give you the word on this, but I want to take a break because then I got a question I want to ask you, Mike, because you're talking about why don't they get him? Well, they have the number 4 pick, but Will, give me your thoughts on Arizona real quick, and then I've got a trade scenario I want to throw out to both of you guys.
Ooh. Personally, I think Arizona. Yeah, I think they either go. I think the shoe-in pick is Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break because I got a trade scenario for you. But then, Mike, I do want to talk about the Rome Odunze. We'll be back in 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Sports Arena right here on the NGBN TV network.
What's up? My name is Chris Rubio, and I'm the host of The Rubio Method on the NGBN TV network.
Focus up. Long snapping and life are very, very similar.
We have a great show that's going to educate you, inspire you, and most importantly, entertain you. I say most importantly because that's what I really want to do. And we're just kind of going on this journey together. And I'm going to make sure as we go on this journey together, you're going to have a good time while doing it. So check out the Rubio Method on NGBN TV.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Arena Live on a Monday night. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside my brother, Mike Caratanito, and our special guest, Mr. Will Vogel. So you said, based on Cortland's comment, and Cortland, thank you for chiming in as always, Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze is the receiver, is the pick. That's what he's saying. They're moving down 7 spots.
If they're there.
Okay, but here's my thing. Why move down 7 spots when you can hold on to the number 4 pick and actually take that guy?
Well, because you're going to get more. They have 11 picks and they're going to get more. And they need, come on, Eric, the Cardinals need more.
I understand the Cardinals need more, but isn't it not about best available? Is it not about the guy that's going to complement your system the best?
And I think that like Marvin Harrison Jr., and a lot of people say, it is splitting hairs. What Marvin Harrison Jr. Wow, that was good. What Marvin Harrison Jr. can do. I mean, you look at the patterns, and you always talk about that, in the NFL, like when we talk about this, Eric, it's, you want to get off the line, but sometimes it's about, kind of a half speed release, not taking the play off, but the little things he does, like, I think it just puts him, that teeny bit above them. But I mean, look, if the Cardinals at 4, if they're literally saying, okay, these are the 3 best available receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze. I literally, Eric, if I was a GM, if we were in, player personnel for the Cardinals, and I said, let's just pull it out of a hat because we know what all of them can do. So yeah, I mean, if you think Marvin Harrison Jr. is that, better route runner, he's going to fit into your concepts, you take him. But to trade down 7 spots with a quarterback hungry team, again, Minnesota, because Denver too, if they, and then even, they had their, well, we'll get to that in a second, but for the Cardinals to focus on that, like, yeah, I would not be upset. If you're a Cardinals fan, you look at these receivers and you can't be upset with either 3. I mean, if you're a diehard, Marvin Harrison Jr. fan, of course you're going to be like, come on, his patterns, this and that, better. And for college, yes. Again, I'm not going to say it wasn't. Obviously, I think it'll translate in the pros too. So, I mean, that's one of those things. But
so let me go over the trade opportunity that I have for you, and it involves the Arizona Cardinals, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the New York Football Giants. All right. Now I'm getting this trade. I'm telling you right now, I did not create this trade. This trade, I'm reading it directly off of.
I was going to say, look CBS at me creating trades, being a magician over there.
No. So here's how the trade goes down. So you've got the Giants jumping up from 6-4 to take Jaden Daniels because, as according to this mock draft that I'm looking at here, it's Caleb Williams 1, Drake May 2, J.J. McCarthy 3 to New England. At 4, Arizona trades with the Giants. So the Giants take Jaden Daniels at 4. The Chargers get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 5. No, I'm sorry. The Cardinals. The Cardinals do. Excuse me. The Cardinals do. My apologies.
Oh, the Cardinals would be at 6, not at 5.
Well,
the Chargers are at 5.
Listen to me.
Oh,
This is the draft. This is the
okay. Sorry.
It's a 3-team
Trade. Right.
Giants go from 6-4 and get Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals go from 4-5 and get Marvin Harrison Jr. And the Chargers go from
5 to 6.
5 to 6, and they take Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look at this possible 3-team trade, Will Vogel, what do you think?
I think that Harrison is the best receiver in this draft class, but I agree with Mike that you can't go wrong with any 3 of them. I can see the Giants getting a quarterback in this draft. I definitely can. Yes.
Okay.
I really do. And then Joe Alt for the Chargers. Yes, you probably need like a receiver like a Malik Neighbors or Rome Aduze. But the main focal point, because I think if they do get a receiver, they can go for a guy in the second round. Like, for example, if Xavier Worthy falls or Devontae Walker, like there's some good. The receiver class is pretty good, but protecting Justin Herbert, your franchise quarterback, is very important. So I agree with the Joe Alt thing, because look what has happened to Cincinnati. Joe Burrow hasn't been protected. You don't want to have another Joe Burrow incident.
Okay.
Hey,
And with this trade, I will say, since Cortland is chiming in the comments, Cortland, according to this mock draft that I'm looking at, sir, that does mean that at number 7, your Tennessee Titans, Cortland Griffin, would actually get or pick, Malik Neighbors at number 7. Ahead of Michael Penix Jr., who would go number 8 to
Seattle?
No, to Minnesota, because Minnesota would then trade with Atlanta.
Wow. This person's off their rocker, I think, on the trades. I like the creativeness. And look, when I say off their rocker, I'm not, like, you know me, I'm not going to speak out of both sides of my mouth. So it's not that a GM put this out, some GM, this is what we would draft, drafting.
The gentleman who put this out works for CBS. His name is RJ White.
No, I like his creativeness. I like his creativeness. I just, if I'm the Giants, look, because in this scenario, in the one from the NFL Network that I was telling you, where the Cardinals trade down and then the Chargers at 5 get Marvin Harrison Jr. They had the Raiders taking Michael Penix Jr. at 13. They also had, I think, Alt sliding down to Seattle at 10 and saying, after Michael Penix Jr. But I look at it this way, and I like what Cortland said here about Marvin Harrison Jr., most potential neighbors, most physical, neighbors equals most physical, and gifts, and Odunze equals most complete. I mean, you can't, like I said, it's splitting the hairs on what you want with the receiver, and I agree with that. But if I'm the Giants, I mean, the one quarterback, and again, I know he transferred, but it's another Oregon quarterback that was also at the Heisman party, and that was Bo Nix. The Giants could get him in the top of the second round, because then you don't have to worry about starting him. Daniel Jones comes back, and if Daniel Jones doesn't have the kind of year they want, that's why you go with a Malik Neighbors or a Rome Odunze at 6. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is sitting there for the Giants, the Giants are going to sit there and take him. I mean, that'd probably be their easiest pick since our boy, who's, and now he's really with you, but since Saquon, that'd be their easiest pick since Saquon, and then I'll go way back in history since Lawrence Taylor. The easiest pick ever. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there for the Giants. But I do have to share this because our guy Lotone, like the last 2 years against our Devils, Penix and Odunze didn't have any touchdowns against them. So we do have a terrible 3-9 record, but we have that going for us. I'll be honest, but no, I mean to answer the question, like Cortland says, I mean, I agree with Cortland on this. I don't think Bo Nix, if Denver doesn't trade up and he's down there, because you could look at a scenario where Denver, because they're at what, 12?
Denver is at 12 right now.
There's at 12. Yeah. You could look at a scenario where the Raiders are at 13, and people are talking about Michael Penix Jr. landing there. Wouldn't be surprised. But if Michael Penix Jr. is sitting there at 12, I don't see how they don't take him. It's one of those things. So I mean, I think Bo Nix definitely. I can see Sean Payton doing that if Michael Penix Jr. is there, because people, and look, it's not a shot at JJ McCarthy. Does he have a strong arm? Yes. Were they physical? Did they have an offensive line that could beat you up? Absolutely. But Michael Penix Jr. also played behind a few guys that are going to get drafted too. Like I told you when we were talking about before the national title game, in a year and a half and to the halfway point of the season, he had over like 900 like dropbacks, right? You know how many times he was sacked? Like, dude, that's insane. Especially at the college level. Like, that's insane. So look, when he's upright on his feet, and I mean, again, and he had a receiving core, but man, it's interesting because the Giants, if they do take a first-round quarterback, I think everybody else, I mean, not just in the NFC East, kind of jumps up and down, because you could add a lot more threat with, a Malik Neighbors, with a Romo Dunze. And the Bears too, they hold the key too, because they have 1 and they have 9, right? So if they don't trade the 9th pick, I mean, they don't have to trade it. They could end up with, like you said, Roger Goodell, they won't do it because Eric, and I'm with you. He should do that. They won't do it because of the advertisers and the money. But it's we're kicking off the NFL draft.
Right.
And the Bears,
come on. You listen to me. As much money in advertising as they make,
I know
they could just take the first pick. The first pick should not take 15 minutes. The first pick should not take 15 seconds. Roger Goodell. You want to know how it's going to be done? Let me show you how we do it real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple. Hold on.
Coming to the stage, Eric Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 NFL Draft live from Detroit, Michigan. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. You hear the music? Ding, 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 ding. With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select quarterback Caleb Williams, USC. That's it. That's all you got to do.
I agree.
You ain't got to do nothing else. And then if you want to go to commercial after that to give Washington some time to take phone calls and kind of figure out what they're going to do, then do that. But I'm sorry. The first pick on Thursday night should take no more than 15 seconds.
I agree.
Why if you want to go to commercial and reap all that TV money in, do it after Caleb Williams gets his, because we already know. Because the anticipation, we ain't anticipating nothing.
Right.
We already know he going there.
Once Justin Fields got traded, you could have turned the card.
Come on. If Justin Fields was still there, different story.
Right.
If they had any quarterback that they believed in, different story. But the fact of the matter is this: we already know what's fitting to happen. Now, Washington, a team that is number 2, a team that brought in Jaden Daniels and JJ McCarthy and Drake May, brought them all into the facility this week to have one last opportunity to talk to these young. Okay, that one right there, go to commercial, take the time, take all your phone calls, figure out what you fitting to do. But under no circumstances should Roger Goodell leave the stage after welcoming everybody to the draft and announcing that Chicago's on the clock. Like, it makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I agree. No, I agree 100%.
Well, I'm with you, but Once that whatever 10 minutes is on the clock, it'll get down to like 1 and be like, oh, the pick is in. Let's go to Roger Goodell.
Right.
Be like, really?
Right.
No, but
Like,
look. No, go ahead.
No. Now, Cortland here. The trade is in. The Bears send 1 to Washington for 2 and a 2025 first round pick. Okay, Cortland, I'm glad you brought that up.
Portland,
because
if Chicago did that, they would have to relocate because their training facilities would be knocked over. Down.
Now, wait a minute, Mike. Right.
No.
Wait a minute now. Because here's the thing about that. We talked about that. Caleb Williams, I'll put it to you very simply like this. Who's the guy in Washington right now that probably has the most, I would say, communication, the most camaraderie with Caleb Williams? Ain't that your boy Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah.
Right. So that is still not out of the realm of possibility. To use a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, he used to say this all the time. He's like, Eric, it's not impossible, just improbable.
Right, but here's the thing. You have people talking about Caleb Williams, and again, not saying he's him because he would have to accomplish things in the NFL, but college-wise, ahead of everybody, I like to say everybody's All-American Patrick Mahomes. Because, and like I said, I know people watch Mahomes in college. A lot of people watch college football, but a lot of people in the NFL are, that are Chiefs fans. I'm like, yeah, you tell me how much Mahomes you watched in college and you knew that,
he was going to be who he is.
Going to be this.
No, I get it.
Look, the arm strength and everything, yeah, that just didn't go. That just didn't go away. But that was always there.
Hold up. Excuse me. Time out. We ain't even talking basketball. We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Right.
Well, go ahead, Mike. Please go.
No, I'm just saying to wrap it up. But I mean, it's and watching Caleb Williams play, live this year and just on TV a ton. Going back, watching games. I mean, they talk about the off schedule getting out of the pocket, but this he can run. He doesn't want to, but I mean, I say doesn't want to, but I mean, he's not looking for that. He wants that explosive play. He knows he can make it. Like, to me, it is a top quarterback, and that's why if the Bears, you start checking boxes, and yeah, they all got to improve on stuff, but the Bears, if they do that, the people of Chicago, literally, I think their training facility would go. They'd be like, you want a new stadium? Cool. Go build it in Wyoming because we want nothing to do with you anymore. I mean, I can't see Bears fans truly doing that, but I think the feeling would be there. Look, as Cortland proposes that trade, I mean, the Bears would be getting the number 2 pick and a lot more too. So, I mean, but at number 2, I mean, if Caleb Williams is your guy and you looked at Drake May and you look at Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, like that's one thing that I think the Bears can't do, and that would go against your point. Like, here's Caleb Williams, but I just don't think because Washington would have to mortgage a lot too. If I'm the Bears too, and they wanted that, I'd be like, cool, you're going to give us Terry McLaurin too.
Okay. All right. Well, final word, and then we got to go over to the NBA because somebody likes to run their mouth.
Flapping their gums.
Ain't been seen since like week 6 of the NFL season. But Will, final word on the draft, real quick, my brother.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really fun draft. I think it's really cool that they're going to have host cities now as opposed to always having it in Radio City Music Hall.
Fair enough. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we are transitioning over to the NBA, and I got some words for someone. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Sports Arena. All right, welcome back into the Sports Arena. Man, Eric Wilson alongside Mike Caratanudo and my man Will Vogel. All right, we go into the NBA playoffs, and somebody who ain't been seen in months all of a sudden want to run his lips, talking about rest in peace to the Sixers, talking about Sixers paying homage to Matt Ryan on the day he retires by choking. You know what? Let me just say this to one Mr. John Shear.
I got something too. Oh,
Will, please, since you are a guest, I'm going to let you go first, sir. Please, feel free. Go ahead.
John, I love you, man, but guess what? Your Heat is nowhere near as good as the Celtics. You'll be lucky to win one game against that Celtics. Yes, my Hornets aren't in the playoffs. Yes, I acknowledge they're a rebuilding team, and I will forever back them up, and I don't care because soon enough, we will be in the playoffs. Not saying we're going to dominate, but you are not going to win one game against this Celtics team because they got many pieces.
Oh, wait, let me be John. Well, Jimmy Butler's not playing, but, John can rip on anybody's team when they got injuries. But when his team has one, and look, I wish Jimmy was playing. You know me, I don't root for injuries. But, yeah, man, I mean, that's that. And tonight, 104, 101. Hanging around right there. It looks like I said, I was slipping back and forth. It looked like Philly, they were keeping it was 79-78 Knicks when I went back to the hockey game and it was 2-2 in the third.
And it's also called best of 7, not best of 1.
Yeah, but to John, that doesn't matter. Eric knows that. But Eric's waiting to go. So Eric, you go ahead. I'll just serve up the alley. You take the oop, buddy.
I'm just saying, for a man who loves to run his mouth, especially about my Philadelphia teams or any team for that matter, not named the Miami Heat, the Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Orioles, or the Carolina Hurricanes. No, those 4 teams are exempt when it comes to them losing. There's always an outside factor. There's always something else going on as to why his team lost. Like, oh, their bus was late showing up, or equipment got lost, or we're playing with third stringers. But everybody else's team can get some of John Shear. John Shear, do me a favor. Before you run your lips about all things Philadelphia, bring your ass back to the show and prove to me you actually got a leg to stand on. Because, bro, you know what? Hold on. Because you know what, John? I lost Philly. I didn't lose. Philly lost by 7 in game 1. Philly lost by 3 tonight. That's 10 points that we lost by. John, you lost by 20 to the Boston Celtics. And you have
it wasn't even that close.
You have the unadulterated audacity to just chirp in the comments when you know better than anybody. This door is always open, John. Let me tell you, just so everybody can see it. John, I'm a loudmouth with an opinion, so whether you like it or not, here it goes, buddy. Bring your ass back to the sports arena and prove to me you actually got a set on you to sit here and talk to me about what my team isn't doing. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and give you excuses. We lost. The better team won. It's a best of 7. Let's see what happens when they come back to Philly. But I promise you, on Wednesday night, John, if you don't pull out a close game against Boston and they're up 2-0, don't go hiding, John, because Thursday, while you up in Detroit, best believe I'm going to come hunt you down, brother. I'm going to sit up here and tell me about some basketball, and you ain't even in the conversation.
Especially when Embiid and Embiid has 35 tonight. Maxey has 34.
John, you ain't got to say no more. You ain't got to smoked you in 3 seconds like the under. Bruh, know your role and shut your mouth. Okay? I mean, now you want to use wrestling terms, bruh. You ain't even in the league, bruh. You might as well go back to NXT. This is WWE Monday Night Raw, bruh. You ain't even, you know what? Stick to Tuesdays. Stick to NXT. Stick to the JV squad where you belong. You can't come to the big leagues, bruh.
Well, I will say the one thing John has, look, I mean, he's no Knicks fan, and they would be doing this to the Heat too. But, I mean, Dante,
when did I get smoked by Ray about the WNBA? Please, someone enlighten me. When did this happen? Earlier? When?
Oh my
got
god.
receipts, bro. You ain't got them.
Hey, all I know is, look, John did actually have a good zinger the other day. He was saying something about Carolina. I was like, yeah. He goes, oh yeah, right. He goes, he actually had a creative one, Eric. I gave him his props. He goes, I was saying something about the Hurricanes, and he goes, oh yeah, that's right. I'll look for the Devils and the Coyotes in the play. I was like, I go, I'm about to tell you something. I said, I'll show you a funny message. It's not broadcast friendly, but I sent him a funny message. But yeah, I mean, look, the WNBA thing, the first time you were Ray talking about, the second time it was the three of us. Everybody starts saying this deserve. And I get why Ray is using the word as okay. You know why? In the beginning, like I said, the NBA could have done a much better job, made the first 26 years. Again, I'm not saying it was going to become a multi-billion-dollar industry like the NBA in 5 years. You and I weren't saying that, but little tangent, like if the NBA would have done a better job, I'm not saying you have to, oh, you're going to give them this, but you started the league. So you're telling me that you start the league and you want something to start and not have success. The NBA could have done more. Again, I'm not saying give their money away, but you could have worked things out sponsor-wise in the beginning to build those relationships and keep going forward. And it may have been a smaller percent, whatever. So the NBA failed, but people, we don't have we can just like you said, like John with certain points, we can overlook certain things. Oh yeah, that was then. Like, oh, let's just brush that aside. No, you can't brush it aside because it's facts. But look, all the Knicks did was keep home court, Eric. They always say
that's what they did.
Series never starts until the home team loses. So
that's
they
it.
go to Philly.
That's it. Philly takes the next two. We back to nothing. Meanwhile, by the time we get to a game 5,
Miami's done in 4.
Listen, by the time we get to game 5, exactly, John will be sitting on the sideline with the rest of his crew going golfing. See if you can get on their yacht, John. That's what you need to do. You need to call Spoelstra, call Riley, and be like, yo, you guys are going to be done in about a week and a half. When I come back from the draft, can I get on y'all's yacht? Can we go party? Because you need a tan, brother. Anyhow, Will Vogel, go ahead, go, man. I can't even talk to this brother right now.
What do you want me to bring up? I already brought up.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Let me kind of bring it back here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for keeping us on course tonight. Because see, this is what John do. He ain't poked the dragon in him.
No, I know.
So what I want to know from you, sir,
2-0.
the Cavs, yeah, that's man.
But all they've done is defend their home court. I love where the Magic
down
are
here,
at.
man. It's crazy. But okay, let me ask you a question. Real talk. Let's go to the Western Conference. Do you feel like there is a team not named Denver that is truly going to give the Nuggets a run for their money should they face them this season?
Ooh,
either one of y'all.
I'll let Michael go first.
I think. Look. I know it's one game, and yeah, we all know. And Eric, I've said this, and I know Ray would be sitting here saying, "Oh, you say don't play." Dallas doesn't play a damn lick of defense. Yes, they can score. If Dallas doesn't score 100 points, I don't think they've won. They're 0 or like 0-9 or 1-9 in games like that this year. Something like that. The Clippers. Oh, and yes, because I know Ray does stick up for my boy. Let me remind you, he is a Sun Devil too, James Harden. Just in case you were wondering, but James Harden had a hell of a game yesterday, saying I can still score with anybody. Everybody, But the way they played, and Paul George said after the game, the experience that obviously, yeah, they haven't been to a finals, but just that postseason experience that they have that he has, that James Harden has. Man, they're talking about man's been in big games. You go down their lineup. I mean, and it's not to overlook because me, I do say, yeah, teams kind of got to learn how to win, but the Thunder. I mean, they got the number 1 seed for a reason, but the Clippers, man, they play like that, and it is a 7-game series. I'm sure Dallas will have an answer, but with their lackluster defense, I think the Clippers, if they play like that, and Kawhi plays in this series, depending on what he does, I'll actually not have a typical me answer. I will go with the Clippers, and I'll just say no, obviously disrespect to the Thunder because they're straight up balling as well.
All right, Will Vogel, go ahead.
So I agree with Mike. Yeah, the Clippers are balling. You got James Harden, who's solid in the playoffs. You got Paul George, and if Kawhi plays in this series, and then you got Westbrook off the bench. So that team is loaded. And I agree, no disrespect to the Thunder, the Timberwolves. The only thing that's going to stop them is their youth. They're great. Don't get me wrong. SGA is great. Chet's great. Anthony Edwards is a solid coming into his own star, just like SGA and Chet. But I just think the only team I agree to fight with the Nuggets in the Western Conference is the Clippers.
Okay. All right. So then let's go back to the East because, I'm sure John will chime in where he feels necessary. Same question. And I'll give you two teams you have to choose from with regards to who you think would take Boston in an Eastern Conference Finals to a Game 7. I'm going to give you two teams. First team I'm going to give you is the Milwaukee Bucks. The second team I'm going to give you is the team that is currently up 2-0 on my Philadelphia 76ers, and that is the New York Knicks. So between those two, because Miami ain't going nowhere. I ain't worried about Miami.
Yeah. It's not.
And I'm not going. And I'm gonna be unbiased, and I'm gonna remove Philly from the equation.
I mean, I love what the Knicks are doing, but I mean, it's all that. It's dependent on, if. And again, they have a team. They have guys that have stepped up. But Julius Randle, to me, not playing, that makes a big difference. Julius Randle not playing, to me, that makes a difference. Like, I would go with the Bucks in that scenario. But I mean, my true answer is, look, I'm not going to say the season's a failure, but it's conference finals or bust for the Celtics. But I mean, I don't say anybody beating the Celtics, but I'd go with the Bucks.
Yeah, okay. Yet again, I agree with Mike. The problem is the Bucks have the experience. Yes, Doc isn't the greatest coach. He's had his ups and downs as a coach. He's won a title. He's lost a title. He's a very interesting coach. Let's just say that, because he's good at points. He's bad at points. He's good at points. He's bad at points. But the Bucks have experience. Once Giannis comes back from this injury, you got a guy who's won MVPs, and then you got Dame Lillard, and then you got a bunch of other solid role players. So give me the Milwaukee Bucks as well.
Okay. All right. I just had to ask that question. And to John, I'm going to tell you right now, it don't matter. You would have to bring back Wade, James, and Bosh.
And they still would.
With Ray Allen.
Oh, with Ray Allen, maybe. Then maybe they win.
To get Celtics in 5, John. Just Celtics in 5.
Yep.
All right. I'm tired of this. Just go on about your business, man. Ain't nobody in here talking. We didn't even bring you up because we already knew what you was. The Miami Heat are the sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you beat them. John, why you bring up old stuff? Why?
This is now, not then.
Check. You know what?
Yeah,
check
Jimmy
your
Butler
phone,
ain't
bro.
playing. Jimmy Butler ain't playing. Look,
John,
in the East,
John, check your phone, bro. Because you know what? You done been sent the link, and you still ain't showed up. Now you got to type all in here. Stop being a keyboard warrior, John. That's what you got to do. Stop being a keyboard warrior.
John, you got.
Now let him be a keyboard warrior. Miami's terrible anyway, so that's fine. But look, Cleveland is the one team too. I mean, the way Donovan Mitchell's playing, and I mean, like it's. And I like the fact. I mean, yeah, Orlando. I mean, getting not even just Orlando wasn't even in the play-in. I mean, those young guys. I mean, Paul Banchero. I love that kid, man. And I watched a ton of Wagner. I mean, I didn't watch a ton of Magic games this year, but watching them and watching when I did and seeing where they were down the stretch, I was like, man, good for them, a 5 seed. And yeah, Cleveland, they should win that series due to the experience they, gathered last year and what Donovan Mitchell's doing. So I mean, I think the East is. I mean, I say that to say that the East is the least exciting of it, Eric, to your question, because like to me, it's the Celtics. I mean, when you're 15 games, 14-15 games better. Oh man, here we go. About
now
they got the 16, man. And yeah,
he still wants to run his mouth.
They got smacked around. They got smacked around in game one. I mean, in the second half, first half wasn't bad, but let's just see the adjustments. I'm confident in Book, Katie, and them. Even Frank Vogel making adjustments. So you need to. It's okay. You can have your moments because Miami's going to be done in 4. And look, if they both go out in the first round, they both went out in the same round. But I see Phoenix getting past Minnesota. But yeah, I mean, look, what Anthony Edwards did, I mean, can he do every game in the playoffs? And I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, they did get in a little bit of foul trouble too. So did the Minnesota. But I mean, look, John can run his mouth. His team's going home. And yes, I mean, even if Jimmy Butler was playing, I would have been with you, Eric. I would have said Celtics in 5. But I'm saying no Jimmy Butler, and I respect Adebayo. I think Jaime Jaquez is a solid draft pick. I mean, look, Eric Spoelstra can coach. We've given him his flowers. The guy's proved it. I mean, what he's done in this period of time, I'm not going to say anything about about Eric Spoelstra. I mean, if John was the coach, and the team wouldn't even make the playoffs. But that being said, if Jimmy Butler's playing, it's in 5. No Jimmy Butler, shorten the rotation. Other guys got to do a little more. Celtics, get the brooms out. At least Miami gets 2 home games, John. Maybe you can go down the start down the 95 and head down towards Miami.
They would be already home halfway through the drive of his.
Denzel, man, John's talking bad. He's got Eric all up in his feelings, man.
I'm not in my feelings. I'm just saying, don't come on here. Don't come on here.
He's got you all frustrated with
this. This is my whole thing. Mike, hold up. Mike, you've known me the longest out of anybody.
That is
you already know. I will sit and listen to anybody, bro. I will have a conversation. I will have a spirited debate. But when you go missing for months and then you want to come on here and be a keyboard warrior and don't want to show your face and talk about this with me, bro, we got an issue. I'm telling you, I'm not in my feelings.
Right. No.
But this is the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
This ain't the divisional round. This ain't the conference finals. And I get it. Did we lose tonight? Yes, we did. But guess what? I'm not sitting on here. I'm not sitting on here saying, oh, this didn't happen and I can't believe this and they didn't call this. No, we lost. But for somebody else who has their own situation to deal with regard to their NBA team and what's going on with them, don't come on here talking about my team. Why don't you fix your own house first before you come knocking on my door? I know what needs to be done. Okay? But you won't come on here and chirp. No, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not that person. I'm not that one. I have said this time and time again. I ain't a hard man to find. Everybody knows what time this show is. Monday nights, 10 p.m.
All you got to do is just go play. You need to replay like the bits from the shows when the Dolphins lost to real teams or good teams that were have better records. Go play that sound from John. So anyway, we gave him too much airtime, but I love you, Milk Carton. I got nothing but love for you, Milk Carton. I'm just
John. Listen, listen. Everybody already know that's my dog. He already know, but I expect that kind of stuff from other people. I don't expect it from him. But you know what? Tune in tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., Sideline Sports. Make sure you check out John. He gonna be on there talking.
As his
and guess what? And maybe I'll just go be the keyboard warrior tomorrow. But see, I just can't, because that's not who I am.
Yeah,
listen, you last
two messages and be done.
Right. I'd be like, nah, man, bring me on. I'm not that dude. I'm just not. I'm built different. Like,
come on, John.
I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'm gonna talk to you face to face, person to person. Let's air it out. But that's just me. Anyhow, Will Vogel, much love, brother. Thank you so much for being a part of this, man. We're gonna bring you back, man. When the W starts, of course. Oh, listen, you already know. You can come back on. We're gonna sit and talk To my brother Mike here Tenuto, man, I'm gonna see you 2 months. 2 months. We're gonna be chopping it up, talking Phoenix Mercury, the number 3 team in the WNBA, behind the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty. Sorry, Megan, I had to do it.
Wings. Beating up on those Dallas Wings. Love you, Megan.
Love you, Megan, but we had to do it. Anyhow, much love to everybody. Hey, like I said, this Thursday, NFL Draft. Make sure y'all tune in. A lot of good stuff for all of us. Everyone have a blessed night. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.